All right, sir. Can we start? Please mute. A very good morning to all my dear students. I know how enthusiastically and eagerly you have been waiting for today's class. And as always, before coming to the class, I have read those beautiful morning wishes, which I enjoy reading when my students are coming here and sitting with us sincerely for studying law. And congratulations and well done those who have revised the first chapter of Sale of Goods Act. We are still left with a very small topic, that is ascertainment of price. We'll close that topic. There's a very important case study we have to do in this question. And then we'll proceed to your conditions and warranties. All right, Mr. Sarvas, Seni, Rahul, Anjana, Asha, Ashish Kumar, Tanishka, Lakshita, Likhit, thank you so much. A very good morning to all of you. Mr. Rohan, Aryan, Ustad. Manjunath, okay. I'm Manjunath, Sonali, Durgesh, Ishan, Chaitanya Pradhan, Siddhanshu. So Mr. Saurabh Verma, good morning. He's asking why there is no clause in sale of goods. So I told you sections, subsection, clauses. As far as CA Foundation is concerned, even if you don't remember, it's okay. The only thing is we should never write false or wrong sections. And clauses, subsections, again, these are part of your CA Inter, where it becomes mandatory for all of you to write these kind of things in your examination. Gunjan Devi, Rishi, Viranjini, good morning. P. Vishnu, Sanjay, Avdesh Pratap. So children, your messages have confirmed me that you have revised. Miss Subhasri, good morning. Viku, Gayatri, Shruti, Naveen, Ziba. So we'll proceed to the chapter, and as and when you have queries, we can keep jumping back to this. And I'm super happy to see that there are no certain queries till the topic we have done. So great to know that. So today, children, we will be starting where we left. We quickly go through the topics that were still pending. Khushdeep Kaur, Amrit, Hanshita, Harnoor, good morning once again, all of you. Let's start the topic now, and then we'll again jump back to your query sections where you want to ask your questions. But as I always tell you, when I'm talking, when I'm teaching, I want 100% concentration with the pens and paper in hand, and keep writing down whatever we are discussing in the class. Okay, subject matter of contract of sale. We discussed last time that always the contract of sale is made for goods. Now my students knows what are goods, existing, future and contingent goods. Last time we did few MCQs also, and we have learned how they will be considered as part of goods. Yashwandan, that is part of your third chapter. When we go there, we'll talk about that topic. So as of now, we are going to finish the first chapter and start the second chapter. So I won't be jumping to the third chapter in between. Okay. So we have already discussed what type of goods. We did few MCQs also. I'll make you do a correction also in one of the MCQs, children, and delivery one, symbolic, constructive delivery. There's small correction that we all need to make. So I'll make you do the correction also in today's lecture. And also there is one interesting descriptive questions that study material has incorporated from last year. So the new updated study materials are also having descriptive case study kind of questions, which actually come in your exams. The kind of questions come in exams, and they have also Institute has beautifully given the answers also for that. So I'll try to judge your knowledge from those questions as well. Okay. So subject matter, we have already discussed what are the type of goods that are available. Now what we have to understand, children, section 6 specifically tells you what are the goods. We have discussed this. Section 7 is something which we're going to start today, that is perishing goods. Perishing means, what is the meaning of goods perishing? Perishing means if the goods get destroyed. What is the meaning of perishing? The goods get destroyed. If the goods get destroyed before making the contract, then the contract in itself becomes void. Is it fair enough? Now, why this happens, ma'am? How can it happen? See, for example, you and me entered into a contract that I'll be selling you 100 bags of sugar. And floods occurred and there was a lot of waterlogging in my godown and all the sugar just got spoiled. Now, where are we during this nature of contract? Law says before making the contract. Now, how this would have happened It says that while you and me, we were sitting and having a cup of coffee and we were finalizing the deals of our contract. You came to my shop, you said, I want 100 bags of sugar. I said, no worries, I have 100 bags of sugars lying in my godown, and in so and so date, I will deliver you the goods. So while we were just entering into such a transaction, while we were just having the negotiating the terms, prices, just before ending, before finalizing the contract, we came to know that without the fault of either of the parties, very important, neither you went and spoiled the goods, nor I went and spoiled the goods. It's natural. It's maybe a natural disaster. Some floods occurred, earthquake occurred, or waterlogging happened, or fire occurred in my godown and the goods got destroyed. So the moment we both came to know that the goods have been destroyed, the contract will become void. What is the meaning of void? That means we cannot enforce it further. So tomorrow, if you try to file a case against me that Harleen ma'am promised us to send us 100 bags of sugars, and while we were signing the contract, she told us the goods got destroyed, I want to sue her. She should give me 100 bags of sugar. So can you do so? So law will say, no, this is absolutely void contract. Because just before you were making the contract, you came to know about the news that the goods are destroyed. So now the contract comes to an end. You cannot enforce it in any law. You cannot sue the person and you can ask him to that you have to give me this 100 bags of sugar because the goods have already got destroyed. So section 7, children, typically talks about two different cases. Number one, where the goods are getting destroyed before making the contract, it becomes void. What if just before sale, but after agreement to sell? So in my example, I told you that, okay, fine, I'll be selling you. A agrees to sell 100 bags of sugar to be on 10th of October. So it's 8th August today. I said after 2 months, 10th of October, I'll be selling you the goods. So what have I entered into? I have entered into an agreement to sell. But just before the sale occurred, again, a fire occurred in my godown and the goods got destroyed. Now, again, this agreement can be avoided, means it again becomes void. I cannot enforce it. When I don't have the goods, you remember impossibility of performance? If you have read Indian Contract Act nicely, if you have revised your content, you must have read about impossibility of performance. I cannot perform the promise that I have made with you because the goods, which are the subject matter, how can I make the contract of sale without the subject matter? So subject matter means मेरा जो purpose है आपके साथ contract करने का, वो purpose goods था. तो अगर वो goods ही खराब हो गए, if the goods have only got destroyed, then I cannot complete my sale. So my agreement to sell becomes void. Similarly, the way my contract became void, now my agreement will also become void if my goods have perished, if my goods have got destroyed. All right. So see, you can see the example. At the time of agreement, neither parties were aware of the fact of picture 2. That means A agreed to sell 50 bags of wheat. This is what is written in your study material. This is the same example. The pictures have been given so that the image becomes clear in your mind and it becomes very interesting and easy for you to learn. So it says A is a seller and B is a buyer. A agrees to sell 50 bags of wheat which was stored in A's godown. Now here he is entering into an agreement to sell. But due to water logging, pani bhar gaya, floods aa gaya sari jagah, all the goods were destroyed. What will you do now? Seller himself is facing so much loss. What do you want to enforce law on him? Don't you think the seller has got all the goods have got destroyed now? So can you still enforce that contract? Law says no. Now this agreement becomes void because goods no longer answer to the description. They have been destroyed. All right. So these are the kind of examples and cases that you have to remember. So briefly, it says goods perishing before making the contract, provided they were specific goods without the knowledge of any of the buyer or seller, the goods perish, the agreement becomes void. If after the agreement to sell, again, it should be specific goods. Now, why he is using the word specific goods? Okay, let me test your knowledge before going to the study material. So children, specific goods are what category of goods? Are they existing goods? Are they uncertain goods? Are they future goods, contingent goods? What goods are they? What is the meaning of specific goods? Yashwandan is still worried about decree of court. I will not teach you unless and until we reach that chapter, bacha, because I don't want to confuse other students. P. Vishnu, case studies do come in exam. From where will they come? That is again a mystery. How can we tell you what paper is going to come in exam? But we will be covering most of the questions from study material and mock test papers and in my presentations as well. So just if it gets covered very nicely, you get prepared for it. Okay. Yes, Ramandeep Kaur will also go into study for this. Okay, Harnoor Kaur is the first one to answer. Shruti, Gunchita, Kirti, excellent children. All those who have answered, yes, ma'am, these are existing goods. We remember, very good. Excellent. Somebody is also writing, ma'am, there are certain goods. So Saurabh Verma, Naveen, yes, we can say existing and ascertained are used interchangeably, but I was just asking you the categories. Miss Khushi, the notes are already uploaded. Unit 1 has already been uploaded on your portal. Please go and check it over there. Specific goods which are used for special purposes. Okay, Surya Kumar, that is also right. But in our terminology of sale of goods, we divided it into 3 categories: existing, future, and contingent. So here my question was that specific goods fall under which category? Very good, Ritika. They identified and agreed at the time of contract of sale. Ustad has an interesting question for us. If in case the seller agrees to sell 50 kgs and after the flood, he's left with 40 kgs, will the contract becomes void? So why don't you answer me? So you contracted for 50 kgs of sugar. You are still left with 40 kgs, which was a specific goods. The goods are still available with you. You can still make a contract of sale. So why do you want to make it void? Please go ahead and sell those 40 kgs. Here, the only matter you have to convince to your buyer is for that 10 kg of sugar, the contract became void because they have got destroyed. So today we will be talking about, when the goods are divisible, separable or non-separable. If it was the sale of wheat and it got mixed with refined flour, one is atta and one is maida. One is flour, one is refined flour that we use. So let's take another example. One is basmati rice or any other inferior quality rice. If such kind of goods get mixed and you have made a contract of sale of basmati rice, can you now segregate the contract, segregate the goods? Will you sit over there and check the 50 bags of rice and you will check which is basmati rice and which is the inferior quality? Let's separate them. That is not possible. So in your question, Ustad, where it is the contract is divisible, you can divide the goods. 40 kgs are still clearly lying, identified, agreeable, and you have the stock with you. Please go ahead and complete your sale. For the balance 10 kgs, it will become void. Okay, now well done all those who have answered the correct answer. Yes, Anshul, that's also good answer, particularly about which we are talking. Yes, Manvi Khanna, definitely it will happen. Ascertain. Pooja is the only one saying voice is not clear. Others are answering me back, so that means voice is clear. So check your connection, Pooja. It's conditional if he agrees. Nabeen, that is again a conditional contract of sale. If you're talking about, that is a different thing. Here he has specifically asked if this much amount of goods are left, can we still sell them? It depends upon the terms and conditions agreed between buyer and seller as well. Very good. Yes, Vijay Gaurav, all answers I'm getting. It's very difficult to take the names of all the students, children. Vijay Gaurav, you were correct. Anaya, Shindi, P. Vishnu, Shruti, all of you are correct. Ziba, Manjunathan, good. Himanshu, Abdesh, nice. Okay, that means you have understood. And another line over here is, it says goods perishing before sale, but after agreement to sell, without the fault of parties. Now listen carefully. Another twist in the story. If I only lied to the buyer that I want to sell the goods and I knew that the goods are already not with me, just to enhance, take more money from the buyer, I made a false commitment. I will be selling you the goods. And I was aware that the goods have been destroyed. Children, will you still say the contract becomes void? In such a case, the contract will be on the basis of fraud. I'm trying to cheat someone. I'm trying to do fraud. Then it will be outside the purview of section 7. Then what consequences happen? That will be again a different story. Here he is typically saying without the fault of the parties. We have not done anything wrong. It was a natural disaster, something which is out of our control. An earthquake occurred and the goods got destroyed, damaged. Floods occurred or fire occurred in the godown. So all these kind of things, it is a specific goods. First of all, the goods were existing. Without the fault of the parties, goods got damaged. The risk was not passed to the buyer. Now, this is again a very beautiful line. He says either it is before making the contract. So, jab tak contract complete hua hi nahi, seller is the owner. I have to bear the entire loss. Now, how will you bear the loss? You don't even need to pay me the money because the contract has become void. After agreement to sell, so in agreement to sell, who remains the owner? Seller only remains the owner. So he says the risk has not been passed to the buyer. Therefore, the agreement is avoided. It becomes cancelled. Similarly, one line is written in the study material. It says about the future goods also. If it says that the goods get destroyed for the future goods also, then also the agreement will become supervening impossibility. Means something happened subsequently later on. I made a contract with you today that children, I'll be selling you 100 bags of sugar on 10th of October. So it's an agreement to sell. Agreement to sell is always for future goods. But before the goods reached my godown, they got destroyed on their way only. The truck which was carrying the goods met with an accident and all the goods got spoiled, destroyed, they fell into the river, whatsoever happened. So now supervening impossibility, something which was not in my control, something which could not be avoided has been occurred. So now I will not be able to sell you the goods. All right. So these are the cases of section 7. You can go through the relevant text from the study also. When we do the ascertainment of price example, then also again I will take you in the study material and we discuss that point. Now children, ascertainment of price is very, very important thing. This is what you need to pay for the contract of sale. So we understood subject matter kya hoga, goods will be the subject matter, and what we need to pay for that subject matter, we need to pay the money. We need to pay price for that. Now, what is the price? How will you decide what amount I have to pay? So number one, it says the price can be mentioned in the contract itself. The usual method, I agree to sell you 100 bags of wheat and we mentioned that I will be selling it for 50,000 while making the contract. Clear, price is already mentioned, no jhanjat of fixing the price. We have already decided, both the parties have agreed upon a certain consensus upon a price, so price is already fixed. This is the usual mode what we do. Manner of fixing the price is mentioned in the contract. We have decided Mr. C will be fixing the price for us. Both the parties have decided. If only one of the parties is saying, then it's not done, then the contract becomes invalid. If both of us has decided that third party will be fixing the price, then also it's absolutely fine. Price is determined by course of dealings between the parties. We have been regular dealers. You have been coming to my grocery store to buying the goods and you have been a regular customer. You have been buying the ration at the same price. So, upar niche thoda sa kar, I will be selling you the same price because by course of dealing, by relationship, we have built certain prices among us. So, whatever is the market price which is availing, whatever discounts I have been giving you, so on the course of dealings, we will fix the same price between the parties. Now, fourth one is very interesting. It says when the price is not fixed by any of the modes. A and B contracted to sell 100 bags of cotton, but there is no fixation of the price. Neither we mention in the contract, nor we decided that third party who will fix, and we are dealing for the first time. We don't have any course of dealings also. Then how much amount we will pay to me? Law says if none of the methods have been used, then please pay a reasonable price. Now, this reasonable word is very, very vague, you know. What is reasonable for you might not be reasonable for me. What is reasonable for me might not be reasonable for you. Can I say that, okay, fine, law has written reasonable price, so pay me 10,000. Maybe the things that purchases are only for 5,000 rupees. So because it is written reasonable, to fit to koi kuch bhi bol de. I can say pay me 10,000, pay me 20,000, pay me 1 lakh because reasonable price has to be made. Law says this is not the case. Many of you ask me, ma'am, what is reasonable price? Number one, it can be the current market price which is prevailing on that date. So we'll try to check what is the market rates, at what rate the other dealers are selling. So increase or decrease 10% or 20% from that amount, we can fix the price on the basis of that. Or it depends upon the cases and circumstances. Reasonable price may vary from case to case. So children, law has to decide what is the reasonable price. So if you have not fixed the price by any of the manner, a reasonable price means law will decide, court will decide, okay, now how much amount needs to be paid. How they try to find this price can be on the basis of the current market prices. What are the prevailing rates? What is the dealer, what the other dealers are giving at the price? Similar to that, a reasonable price will be determined. But reasonable means that it should be reasonable. You cannot charge 1 lakh for a thing of 100 rupees. You cannot simply say that now it is my wish. So if something costs 100 rupees, you can maximum charge 110 rupees for that. If a thing is for 10,000, you can maximum charge 9,500 for that. So something like that can be considered as reasonable. Now let's see the examples given in the PPT. It says number 1 case's price is mentioned in the contract itself. So A agrees to sell his car to B for 50,000. Here, children, the price is fixed. So what method we have used? We have used the first method where the price is fixed. There is no tension about how much price will be charged. So the price is here is exactly fixed by the contract. Second example in the green one, this is very important. It says A agrees to sell his Maruti car for rupees 50,000 if a new model of the car does not come within a week, or for rupees 20,000 if a new model comes within 1 week. Can you do such certain kind of transactions? Law says it is completely a wagering agreement. There is so much uncertainty of price. Ya ye le lo, ya ye le lo. 50,000 mein I will be selling if this happens, or 20,000. I will sell you the goods for 10,000 if it rains tomorrow, and for 20,000 if it does not rain. These are wagering transactions. You remember wager? Anything done by sale of wager is void. So where there's uncertainty, uncertainty means you have not determined the price clearly. Then the contract is not valid. Such kind of transactions are void. You have to be fixed about the price that you're going to charge from the buyer. Let's take second example. The manner of fixing the price is mentioned in the contract. So very easy example. What is the price? We will decide in the contract that how it has to be fixed. So A agrees to sell 100 toys to B. Both of them, very important, buyer and seller both agreed that the price will be fixed by C. Children, if only A says that the price will be fixed by C and B does not agree to that, will it be a valid contract? Yes or no? Thank you, Manjunathan, for clearing that the voice is absolutely clear. Lakshita, correct. That was a case of fraud. Manvi is also correct. Arman has written repeat. I don't know where did you write repeat. So you can ask if you have missed out anything. So please, children, answer me. A agrees to sell to B and A only decide that the price will be fixed by C. So is it correct? No, it's not correct. Why? It is not a valid contract because both the parties have to be agreed. So this is your second example where B says that I will decide what will be the price. So here only one party is having the right without the consensus. Therefore, it is not a valid contract. You answered before I taught you about this topic. Very good. Samajh gaye, sir? Okay, P. Vishnu has a question. It was 50 rupees in market price after contract due to rise in demand. Prices rise. What price? So children, again, P. Vishnu, Vardhan, I told you what is a reasonable price is a question of fact which law will decide. Neither you will decide nor I will decide. When such a kind of case happens, we will together go to the court and we'll ask Judge Saab, please decide what is the reasonable price. So how he determines the price, that is completely left on him. But yes, you are right. Those market variations will be considered. Good, Ronit, Shruti, Masoom, Gareja, Kula, all those who answered correctly. Shrindi, Navneet, Anshika, Surya, Isha, Sakshi, Arshdeep, Sanjay, correct. Ms. Gunjan Devi, again, any reason, whether because of construction or any other kind of reason, if the contract becomes void, if the goods cannot be delivered, if they have got destroyed, Okay. Then advance money needs to be returned because contract becomes void and the amount also needs to be paid back. Manjunathan, who will pay the damages, how the damages will occur is part of your conditions and warranties. We'll decide over there in that chapter. Okay. Yes, Harnoor, your answer also remains the same. Children, if the buyer has already paid for certain amount, then as per the terms and conditions between buyer and seller, if the contract has become void, means it has come to an end. So entire money that has been taken will be paid back because we are no longer doing the contract. Ekta Tiwari, breach of contract will be separate. We cannot say that the goods perishing. If the goods have perished before sale or after agreement to sell, the good contract becomes void. But if any party is breaching the contract, that has a separate story. Yes, Subhasri, in your example also, the contract will become void. Thank you, Harshit. Okay, thank you, P. Vishnu. Subhasri, are you clear? You have written the same query 10 times. Okay. Price determined by the course of dealings. Another example, A contracts with B to buy 100 shares PQR Limited in the general course of dealings. What will be the accepted price? The price prevailing on the date of contract for the sale of shares. So if you're doing any kind of sale and shares in stock exchange or market or other things, whatever price is prevailing on the date of contract, that price will become applicable. And the last one is reasonable price depends upon the facts and circumstances of each case. So whether demand rises, supply rises, variations occurred, what happened, how happened, varies from case to case. Maybe in our particular case, we are paying only 100 rupees. In the same case, other parties, they might have ended up paying 110. So all the facts needs to be seen. So A orders to supply 100 kg of sugar to him without talking about the price. So the market price, whatever was availing on the date of order, was set to be applied. That is how your rate will be determined. Now, children, please quickly open your study materials. And this is a very important, interesting case study that they have given. But before doing this case study, let me take you all in the study material. So this is what we're going to discuss, agreement to sell at valuation. But before that, as promised, subject matter of contract of sale. Somebody was saying, ma'am, please see this chart and the study also we want to see. So I hope you were talking about this description. So this, children, these 3 points, section 6 typically talks about that the subject matter of contract can be either existing goods, okay, it can be contingent goods, or it can be future goods. It is typically giving you about the type of goods in a legal language. So where the sale of cloth has to be manufactured by certain mill, this contract is also valid. Why it is contingent? Because here you are dependent that how the certain mill will be functioning and how the contract will be produced. Cotton cloth will be produced. Section 7 also we have discussed the same example of godown, the fire occurred, waterlogging occurred, the contract becomes void. And this was your future good line that I told you, that any destruction happening due to supervening impossibility, something which is not under your control, then also the contract becomes void. 9 and 10 section, determining of the price. This is what we have just done from the PPT analysis. Now I'm going to teach you about section 10. All the eyes and ears here. Little technical, but it is very easy and interesting. Section 10 says agreement to sell at valuation. Valuation means now here we will be having third party. So where A and B agreed that C will fix the price. So how this third party is going to do the valuation for our goods and what will happen, this is what we need to understand. So where there's an agreement to sell the goods, that the price is to be fixed by the third party, and such third party cannot make the valuation, then the contract becomes void. Okay. Harleen ma'am decided to sell Mr. Shivam. Okay, the last name that is appearing over here. Anaya Jha and other children who are asking how to present the answers. Separate session, I will teach you how you have to present the answers. First, we'll complete the syllabus. P. Vishnu, we are again talking about the third party, so pay attention. Anushka Agarwal, we are on the first chapter, last topic, ascertainment of price, last page of unit 1 under study material. Okay, so I told Mr. Shivam that I will be selling you the goods, 100 bags of sugar, and the price will be fixed by Priyanshu. Mr. Priyanshu will be fixing the price for us. Now, Mr. Priyanshu did not make the valuation or said that I cannot do it. I am flying to London tomorrow and I'm sorry. I am the third party who said that I will do it, but now I'm not doing that. Can I still sell the goods to Mr. Shivam? Law says the agreement will now become void. We have to avoid it because I'm no longer, because the price was to be fixed by some party, that party only ran away. That party refused to make the valuation. So the price is not determined. Therefore, this kind of agreement that we both have entered has become void. Now, ये line very important है. Provided that means condition attached to these. If the goods or any part have been delivered to or appropriated by the buyer, then he must pay a reasonable price. So if I have already delivered the 100 bags of wheat to Mr. Shivam, and he has eaten some part of that wheat, he has got it crushed and he has got the flour at home and has also chewed and eaten the food, appropriated means he has used the goods. Then also will we say that let's avoid the contract and you will not pay me anything? I'm not going to leave you. I've already sold you 100 bags of wheat. Now pay me my reasonable price. Now you cannot run away by saying that third party did not use the valuation. Now, since you have already taken the delivery, you have used my goods, appropriated ka matlab likh lo, use the goods. Appropriated means if you have used the goods, the goods have been delivered and used by the buyer, then he must pay a reasonable price. समझ आ गया चिल्ड्रन? दो बातें करनी हमने इसमें. Number 1, valuation. Valuer had to do the valuation. He refused to do. Agreement becomes void. But if the goods have been delivered and used by the buyer, then he must pay a reasonable price. Two things are absolutely clear. Now let's understand the third thing. So this was the first thing. Agreement becomes void. This is the second thing, that if you have used my goods, pay me the reasonable price. So what is the third thing? It says where the third party is prevented from making the valuation due to the fault of the buyer or seller, then the party who is not in fault can claim the damages from the party in default. Too much information. Should I make it simple for you? Let's make it simple. So where the third party, who was third party? Mr. Priyanshu. Now Mr. Priyanshu was prevented means he was stopped. By whom? By whom was he stopped from making the valuation? By the fault of buyer or seller. So either Harleen ma'am went and told Priyanshu, okay, leave it, don't do the valuation. I don't want to sell the goods to Shivam. I have found another buyer, Miss Anushka Agarwal, so I will sell the goods to her. So here I am preventing Mr. Priyanshu, I am preventing the third party from making the valuation. Therefore, whatever damages are being suffered by Shivam, I will pay him the damages. Who is party in default? I am party in default. And who is not in fault? Party not in fault is Shivam because he was an innocent purchaser. Uski to koi galti nahi hai. मैंने prevent करा third party को valuation करने से. So the seller will pay the damages to the buyer. Vice versa case, if Shivam went to Priyanshu and said that please don't do the valuation, I don't want this 100 bags of wheat, I have found another seller. So he's stopping him from doing the valuation. He's telling him, now please don't do the valuation. Now Shivam will pay me the damages. The buyer will have to pay the damages to the seller. Whosoever party tries to stop the third party from doing the valuation needs to pay the damages to the innocent party. What is the meaning of innocent party? Who is not at fault. Clear? Okay, 3 cases. Number 1, third party refuses, contract becomes void. If you have used the goods have been delivered, pay a reasonable price. And third point is, if any of the fault of the buyer or seller, the third party is prevented from making the valuation, then the party which is in default should pay the damages to the other party. Samajh aa gaya? Now let's understand this example of P selling 2 bikes to S. So all the eyes and ears here, please. P is having 2 bikes. So who is P? P is the seller. Seller ho na P. He agrees to sell both the bikes to S. So who is S? S is a buyer at a price to be fixed by Q. Q is the third party. ये लिख लो सब लोग, तभी आपको easy रहता है. When you write the nomenclature of these people, it becomes simpler for you to understand. So P is a seller who is having 2 bikes, and he made an agreement to sell both the bikes to S at a price which is to be fixed by Q. So who will? This is absolutely a case of section 10. Section 9 tells you how the price needs to be fixed, and section 10 typically talks about agreement to sell at valuation. So this is the case of section 10 where the third party will be fixing the price. Now children, in this case, 2 things happened. Number 1, he, who is he? P gives the delivery of 1 bike to S immediately. Number 1 case is delivery of 1 bike has been given immediately. So answer me, did the sale occur? Who becomes the owner? S becomes the owner. Does he need to pay the price? Children, we will not be talking about the measurement of damages. First, understand this is a very technical topic. All those who are how to measure damages. Thank you, P. Vishnu. I'm glad you are now finding the topic easy. That's nice. Kirti has also jumped into chapter 2. If the goods were damaged, that is story of condition and warranty. Hold on for there. Shrindi, we will not be calculating the damages. First, pay attention to what I'm asking, and then I will talk about this topic. Very good. So, Masoom, Nilesh, Saurabh, Anaya, Semya Khatun, Priyanshu, Gunjan, Tamanna, Navneet, all of you are correct when you say that S has become the owner and he must pay the price for those goods. Excellent. The sale is complete. But what happened in the story? It says delivery of 1 bike was made and Q refuses to fix the price. As such, P asks S to return the bike already delivered, while S claims for the delivery of 2nd bike. So what was the fight about? Q refused. So Q refused. So we went to this upper case, sub clause 1, where the third party refuses. What will happen? Agreement will become void. Don't you think that agreement will now become void? But 1 bike has already been delivered. So law says, and buyer, he's saying, give me the delivery of 2nd bike also. So in this case, they said buyer S will pay a reasonable price for the bike already taken, and for the 2nd bike, the contract avoided. So children, there are 2 separate cases in this case study, case number 1 and case number 2. You all need to write down the answers. You will say case number 1, for the first bike, I'm repeating, for the first bike which has already been delivered to the buyer, the buyer needs to pay the reasonable price. The buyer needs to pay the reasonable price to Mr. P. Why? Because we just learned that if the goods and part have been delivered or appropriated, then we need to pay the reasonable price. So even if now the valuer is refusing, you have delivered the goods, buyer has used the goods, now he needs to pay the reasonable price. Clear ho gaya? For the first bike, he needs to pay the reasonable price. For the 2nd bike, the contract is avoided. Contract becomes void. Why? Because I have not yet delivered you the bike, and before that delivery only, he refuses to fix the price. Therefore, he cannot ask S to return the first bike. He will only ask him that now I will not sell you the 2nd bike because the contract has become void. For the first bike, which was already delivered, S will pay a reasonable price to P. For the second bike, P is not bound to deliver the bike to Mr. S because the contract becomes void as the third party has refused to fix the price. Clear ho gaya, children? I hope a settlement of price is also now very much clear. I want all of you to see these beautiful descriptive questions given by. Please go through these MCQs also. See, they have already given you the answers also. Now, no one will cheat and see the answers of MCQs and do it. First, try doing it and then test your knowledge by checking the answers to MCQs. So we have 31 MCQs in study also. Try to solve them on your own. These are the descriptive questions, children, which I was about. They are very, very simple. I give you 2 minutes without cheating and seeing the answers. Please read question number 4. And I will ask you to answer me one by one in the class. I'm trusting that nobody will cheat the answers. Read the questions carefully. Classify the transaction about the type of goods. Read them and then to ask. Mr. Vijay Gaurav, that's absolutely correct. Q was the third party for valuation. Avinash, that was correct. Himanshu Gupta, contract destroyed, nothing destroyed, it becomes void. Second bar, how can you write contract got destroyed? Contract gets void, not destroyed. Saurabh Verma, bacha, I'm trying my best to use English and Hindi both, but we cannot talk much in Hindi because we have students from South also. They do not understand if I talk in Hindi. Okay, good, Priyanshu. I'm glad everything is clear. Great. So now quickly, let's do the answers for this one. A wholesaler of cotton has 100 bales of cotton in his godown. He agrees to sell 50 bales and these bales were selected and set aside. What category of goods is fourth ka first part? What category of goods is it? Excellent. All those who have written, these are a certain goods. So once the goods have been selected, kept aside, great children, give yourself a patting from my side. I'm so happy to read a certain goods. And what were the 100 bales lying in the godown? So how will you write the answer? This is how you have to write the answer. You will say wholesaler has a bale of 100 bales in his godown. So the goods are existing goods. Number one, the goods are existing. He agreed to sell these goods and he selected and kept them aside. On selection, they became a certain, children. If examiner had asked you what is the 100 bales of cotton, they would have been unasserted. Very good, Masoom. A certain goods are 50 which are selected from 100 bales. Excellent. So balance 100 bales. If the 100 bales I'm talking, they're unasserted goods. Out of those which I have identified and agreed become asserted. Whatever the second good. A agrees to sell 1 packet of sugar out of the lot of 100 packets lying in his shop. Answer for the second one. I want the answer for the second one. Pratindya Vidhate is correct. Second category of goods are unascertain. Saurabh is also correct. Gunjan Devi is also correct. Kirti, Nilesh, Arshdeep, Nabeen, Jia, Lakshita, Tanishka, Shruti, Sanjay, Saima, Akula, Rohan, Kashika, Dadij, good. Vijay, Anaya, Tejashri, Mehakpreet, nice. Vagdevi, very nice, all of you. Unascertain goods. First one were ascertain goods. First category was ascertain goods. Second is unascertain goods. And the third is unascertain goods. And the third category, where I'm agreeing to sell apples which will be produced in his garden next year. These are future goods. And what does it amount to, children? Future goods? What does it amounts to, future goods? Future goods amounts to agreement to sell. Correct, all of you. Those who are saying contingent goods, again, which will be produced in his garden this year. So we are not attaching any contingency. These are future goods as they are not yet produced. Excellent. Tamanna, Vijay, Vinuta, Masoom, Jia, Gunchita, Vaishnabin, Miss Jadav. That's correct. Ronit, Sakshi, Ziba, Asha, all of you are correct, children. So these are the future goods. There is no contingency attached to it. They're simply talking the goods when produced, we will be selling it in future to you. So future goods is always an agreement to sell. Here are the answers which are given very beautifully. Apples which we'll produce, it is a contract of sale of future goods amounting to agreement to sell. All right, children. So here we come to an end to unit 1. And one small thing which I want my students to notice in your test of knowledge, you have already given me a test of all these answers. Children, here when we were talking about if a seller handed over the keys of warehouse containing the goods to the buyer, then this results into what? There was a small thing that I left in the last class. We were in a hurry and I just read it on behalf of the buyer. So let me teach you. There were different answers. Somebody was saying constructive. Somebody was saying symbolic. You want to do this MCQ once again? So what should be the answer for this one? Quickly tell me the answer for these one. Varun, contingent goods. Now you are still asking what are contingent. We have already done the last previous lecture. Contingent goods are the goods where certain uncertainty or contingency is attached to them. Say, for example, I promised you to sell you the goods which are coming from the London port, and when they reach the Mumbai port, the goods will come in my godown and then I will sell. So here a contingency is attached. The ship might get sink, the goods might get lost, or such kind of things. They are known as contingent. Again, I'm having different category of answers. So the correct answer to this one has been given by Harpreet, you're wrong. Gunshita is correct. Lakshita is correct. Ekta is correct. Manjunath is correct. Shruti is correct. Sakshi is correct. Tamanna absolutely wrong. Actual delivery to hai nahi hai ye. Rohan is correct. Symbolic. Rahul is correct. Symbolic. Kriti is correct. Rohan Kumar. Akula. Nilesh, it's wrong. Vijay, it's wrong. So now let me tell you why the correct answer is symbolic delivery. Children, there are two things. One is where the keys of warehouse, in the example that I taught you in the class, there I told you that the keys of the warehouse are lying with the warehouse keeper who is holding the product on behalf of the buyer. What did I say in constructive delivery? I told you that if I am, again, listen to this example. I am selling you my I-10 car. I'm a seller. You said, I typically want that red I-10 car. I said, I have all white I-10 cars in my showroom. And sir, red one is in my warehouse. So I will do one thing. I will give the keys. I'm giving you the keys of the warehouse. Please go and collect the goods from there. So here I'm giving the keys of the warehouse directly to the buyer. So that means I have not, you remember the keys, car keys, when I gave you the car keys, it is a symbolic delivery. I gave you the document of title to goods, it is a symbolic delivery. Where I've given the keys of the warehouse also directly to the buyer, it is a symbolic delivery. Means I have done the symbolic delivery when I have delivered the goods. Then what was constructive delivery? Constructive delivery was where the warehouse keeper is holding the keys and he's holding the goods on behalf of the buyer. Where the keys were with that warehouse keeper, we are not given it to the buyer directly. I will read it out. Where the warehouse man holding the goods of A agrees to hold them on behalf of B at A's request. Where I've told you that please go and collect my goods from the warehouse keeper. Then it is a constructive delivery because a third party is involved and he's holding the goods on your behalf. But here in this specific case, I have already given the keys to you. Okay, so last time it was in the previous class, it was on behalf of the buyer. That was there was a confusion. If the goods are being held by the warehouse keeper on behalf of the buyer, then it's a constructive delivery. But if I've directly given the keys to you children, then it is a case of symbolic delivery. All right, I hope now everyone is clear on this point also. Many of you had a query last time on this as well. All right, children, let's take a small break and then we will be starting with the conditions and warranties. So many number of examples and case studies are going to come up. We have already winded up unit 1. So now just take a small break, have your water or things, and then quickly after 5-10 minutes, just come back and we'll start with unit 2 of conditions and warranties. All right, thank you. All right, welcome back, students. So I've just gone through your answers, and yes, I'm glad that you all are now clear on that symbolic delivery point. That's why I wanted all of you to clear your doubts on that as well. Kirti, again, where you're talking about if T had agreed on certain quantities to deliver in question 4, case 3. Are you talking about the descriptive questions that we have just discussed, Shayad? Then it would have been a contract of sale of contingent. Definitely, if you're dependent upon something, say, for example, if I'm dependent on a certain mill to produce the cloth for me and then I will be selling it to you, then it is a contingent good. Contingent and future are a very thin line of difference. It can be future goods, can also be contingent goods if some natural disaster happen or some uncertainty happens. So you can again claim it under the condition of contingent goods. All right, that is also correct. So children, let's start with a new topic now, that is conditions and warranties. Before jumping to the PPT, I want you to all have a fair idea about where and what is given in your study material. And again, those who keep asking me, ma'am, study material is enough. Definitely, if you're going through my notes and along with that, you're doing study material and all the mock test papers and last year papers we'll be doing, we will be clearing about all your syllabus will be nicely covered. Okay, I hope Kirti now your point is clear. Yes, I got the same from descriptive, I think you're asking. So Arab Verma, we are going to start conditions and warranties and you're asking me the same question. Okay, now stipulation with reference to goods. So conditions and warranties, children, is a very, very interesting topic. And whenever we start this topic, the first word that generally bothers the student is this word. What is this? Where is my annotations? Stipulation. So before we start this chapter, I want each one of you to nicely understand what is the meaning of this word, stipulation. So children, today we'll be talking about n number of examples, your day-to-day examples. So let's go to a market to purchase a certain kind of cloth for making a lehenga for your sister's wedding. So your sister is getting married and you're there with your mom and dad, so excited to do shopping for your family member, and you went to a shopkeeper. So even if you have would have this went with your parents or with your mother or sisters, you must have noticed, or you yourself when you go to the shopkeeper, don't you hear that they're full of praises for their clothes? See, this is so wonderful. You will look like Deepika Padukone when you wear this lehenga. It is the latest piece that we have designed. Even Ritu Kumar doesn't have such a kind of design. What are these kind of statements coming from a shopkeeper? You know, this instance remind me about the movie Hindi Medium. Have you all seen Hindi Medium movie? Where that guy, I'm forgetting the name of that actor, where he's actually selling lehengas only in that shop. So if you can form a connection with that guy so that you never forget the word stipulation. So he's demonstrating his type of clothes as if he's a great merchant, and you know, no designer has such kind of stuff the way the stock is available in his shop. This is what the shopkeepers generally do. They try to flaunt about the things that they're selling. That is called marketing skills. This is what they have to do. Otherwise, how will you buy the things? So law says all these kind of representations, statements that the seller is giving in order to convince the buyer to sell him his product are known as stipulations, are basically known as representations. And there are certain representations because of which you enter into the contract of sale. For example, that buyer said that, you know, this is exactly Ritu Kumar's design and you will not get it at this kind of price. So now this representation was very important for you. And because of this, you said, okay, fine, I'm going to make a contract of sale with you. So now that condition that the person has, representation that the person has said, becomes your stipulation. समझ आया? Stipulation क्या होता है? Stipulation is nothing. It is simply the statements which the seller is using in order to convince the buyer to sell his products to you. So now this stipulation can either be a condition or it can be a warranty. If it is so essential to the main purpose of the contract, means if he has said something which is very, very important. Say, for example, you went to the shopkeeper and you told him that I want pink color Samsung 6 inches phone. And the shopkeeper give you red color iPhone 4 inches. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता ना? You have imposed a condition. You have told him, I want only 6 inches Samsung pink color phone. So now it becomes the implied condition on the seller that you have to give him the kind of thing that the buyer is asking for. So now here, if he supplies him same pink color Galaxy phone, but when you open the box, it was 4 inches. So that means your contract has been breached. You have been cheated. Your condition has not been fulfilled. This was very essential for forming the contract. Then such a kind of statement which is given by a buyer or the seller is known as condition. The example which is given in the study material for touring purposes, that the car they are taking, it will clear all your doubts. But right now, just simple words we will be understanding and they'll be moved to the example. So you told the person something which has to be fulfilled. If it is not fulfilled, you simply put an end to the contract. What is the meaning of repudiation? Means putting an end to the contract. You simply end the contract. I'm sorry, I'm not doing any contract with you. Here, your Samsung pink color mobile phone, which is 4 inches, please take it back and give me my money back. All those who were asking, ma'am, paisa वापस हो जाएगा? हाँ जी बेटा. Breach of implied condition means you have breached my implied condition. There was a condition that you have to give me this kind of phone. It was essential for forming the contract. It was important stipulation that I told you. That is why it is condition. Now you have breached it. So the buyer has the right to end the contract and return the goods and also claim the money. But where you're only having some little defects in the product. Say, for example, warranty is a terminology which is collateral to the main purpose of contract. Children, collateral means something which is related to the contract, but it is not very important. Some secondary part. So he gave you that 6 inches Galaxy pink phone, but the camera was not as per your choice. Now he says if something which can be done, say for example, you asked for a specific car which gives you a proper mileage and he has given you the desired mileage car that you have asked for, there was no breach of implied condition. But the shopkeeper told you that I will be putting a very smart, music system in your car. But when you got the car home, you found it was not as per your choice. So what will you do? Will you just go and return the car? Law says no, here condition is not breached. You told him that the car should be giving a proper mileage. It is giving the desired mileage that you have asked for. Now you will not return the goods, but since something is there which is related to your contract, these were discussions which were made that I will put a proper music system and now it is not as per your choice. So why don't you just go and say that this warranty has been breached and you claim the damages for the same. Either you can ask the person, please change the music system accordingly, or you can tell him that it is not breach of implied warranty has happened. You have promised to give me something. It is not as per that. So please, I want to claim the damages of that. Children, word breach, you know the meaning of word breach, right? Breach means breaking the promise. If you have breached my condition, you have not given me the choice of phone that I've asked, I have the right to put an end to the contract and return the goods. If you are breaching the warranty, something which is related to my contract, but it was not very essential for the main purpose of contract, then also I have the right to claim the damages. But I cannot end the contract. You cannot say that the music system is not as per your choice and you go and return the car. This is not possible. All right, so this is the meaning of condition and warranty. Let us first understand what are the conditions and warranties from my presentation. The brief explanation has been given over there. And then we'll jump in back again to this. So Sale of Goods Act, second chapter, conditions and warranties. What are we going to do in this is stipulation as to time. Again, we'll be taking this detailed discussion from the study material about stipulation as to time. Then we have introduction of conditions and warranties. I've briefly explained you, but we will be doing in detail. When the condition can be treated as warranty is another topic which we'll try to cover today. And then we have certain types of expressed and implied conditions and warranties. All right. And caveat emptor. These are the topics in detail which we'll be covering in the next session. Now, children, what is a condition? It says condition is a stipulation which is essential for the main purpose of the contract, the breach of which gives you the right to put an end to the contract. So this condition is a very important essential for the main purpose of the contract. However, warranty is collateral to the main purpose of the contract. Hello. Yeah, I just got disconnected. Yes. Yes. Are we connected? Hello. Yes. Okay, children. So condition is a stipulation. We just did this same definition. And similarly for warranty, which is something related to your main purpose of contract, if that gets breached, then you can only claim the damages. The important line to remember over here is it will never give you the right to reject the goods. You still have to continue with the contract. The only benefit that you get is you can claim the damages. Say, for example, A asked B to give him a washing machine which is fit for washing woolen clothes. What did A said? A said, A is the buyer. He went to seller B. He said, please give me an exclusive washing machine which is fit for washing woolen clothes. So let's assume these are winter days and he doesn't want to sit and wash all the woolen clothes. He said, I specifically want a washing machine which will wash away my all woolen clothes also. But you know, when A came home, he got exactly the same design Whirlpool top load kind of machine that he have asked for, front load machine. But when he came home, he's tried washing his woolen clothes. The clothes just got torn off. Now, what kind of breach it has happened? Was it a breach of condition or was it a breach of warranty? Law says where you have expressly told the person that I want the machine which is fit for washing my woolen clothes. And if it is unfit for the same purpose, that means you have breached my condition. I am bound to return you the goods and you are bound to pay me back the money. Here it is breach of implied condition. But what if, second example, first example, washing of woolen clothes are only not getting washed away, they're getting torn, they're getting colored, some problem is occurring, the purpose is not satisfied, then it is a breach of condition, go and return this washing machine and claim your money back. But the second question, this washing machine is absolutely washing the woolen clothes very nicely. We are so satisfied and so happy that now I don't have to be bothered. Whatever condition, whatever the purpose for which I have bought this, made the contract, it is being fulfilled. But there was a small thing that this washing machine is using a lot of electricity. Your bill was coming very high of electricity. Now, when you were purchasing this, seller has anyways told you that it will not use much of your electricity, but this is using a lot of electricity. Here, law says if such kind of clauses are happening or occurring, you can only claim the damages. You can go and tell the shopkeeper that there is a breach of implied warranty. Now you can only claim the damages, but you cannot go and return the goods just because it's using electricity or some part is broken or if some repair is required. Such kind of things, you can only claim the damages. Say, for example, the machine stopped working after some days and there is a button which just came out, some sort of repair is required. Then we will call it under the case of breach of implied warranty and damages can be claimed or repairs can. But the goods can only be returned only if there is a breach of implied condition. All right. So let's go back to our study material and quickly read the examples that are given over there because they have written it in detailed length and then you come up with the queries related to each and every word. Okay, so this is what we have just discussed, children, conditions and warranties. Lakshita, thank you so much. Even I am glad if you're enjoying it. Okay, Arshdeep, we'll try doing that as well. Name of actress Imran Khan. Thank you, Surya. Now I hope you can remember, so that Imran Khan, the way he was selling the goods and showing, it is exactly the kind of stipulations that we use. Repudiate, Tamanna, repudiate means to cancel the contract. Rahul, breach of condition. Acha, you are giving me the answers. Yes, that was correct. Very good, children. You're applying also the answers. And Shruti, that's correct. Manjunathan, Varun, Masoom, Gunjan, Rahul, Navneet, Vijay, that's absolutely correct. Priyanshu, Ekta, Manvi, Garija, that's correct. Is time limit or not? So, Manjunathan, time is a stipulation or not? That is a separate topic. Here we first understand conditions and warranties. So children, this is just the same part that I've just explained you. Any representation is underline kar lena, which forms the part of contract of the sale and affects the contract is called stipulation. All the stipulations are not of equal importance, means some might have relevance for selling or some are just for necessary significance. Like when the shopkeeper say, you look really pretty in this kind of cloth, so it is not making any sense. You're not going to buy just because he's selling you the goods by praising you. But if he says that this is a pure silk or pure kind of cotton cloth that you're looking for, then it can be a stipulation which is essential for a contract. So those stipulations which are very important for forming the contract are conditions. Now let's see this beautiful example. P wants to purchase a car from Q, which has a mileage of 20 kilometers per liter. So kya bola usne? 1 liter mein the car should be running 20 kilometers. Q pointed at a particular vehicle. This car will suit. He said, okay, fine. This is the car. He points and he says, this is fine for you. Later on, after purchasing, P was very happy. मैंने 20 kilometer per liter वाली मांगी and Q ने मुझे दे भी दी. But P found that later on, this car only gives a top mileage of 15 kilometer per liter. गुस्सा आ गया उसको. मैंने बोला कि 20 kilometers per liter चाहिए. I imposed and condition. I expressly told him that I'm making the contract with you and I specifically want this kind of product. And now he has given me the goods which are only giving a top mileage of 15 kilometer per liter. There it is a breach of condition because the seller made the stipulation which was essential. Mileage was the stipulation. Here the mileage जिसके ऊपर discussion हुई है, जिस topic पे contract बना है, that was very much essential for the main purpose of the contract. Therefore, it is a breach of condition. So now what are the rights available with Mr. P? So we have all agreed it is, yes, Ms. Arshdeep, that is exactly a breach of implied condition as per description and you can return the product. So what can we do? Good, Avinash, Varun, Anaya Jha, Saima. Warranty we'll be doing. Saima, don't worry. Just keep answering what I'm asking right now. Don't jump further. So what are the rights available with Mr. P? Tell me. What can Mr. P do? This is breach of condition, ma'am. We understood. That's correct. Very nice. Very well done. So we have decided that mileage should be given. It is not given. Very good. Anaya Jha is the first one to answer. Surya Kumar, Anushka following the same. He can end the contract and P can go and return the car. Excellent. So you can also claim your money back and you will return the car because these are the rights available when the condition is breached. Now, what is warranty? Warranty is something which is related but not very, very important for forming the contract. It will only give you a right to claim the damages and you cannot reject the goods. A stipulation is a condition or warranty. It depends upon the construction of a contract. It may be a condition, though called warranty in the contract. So how we are making a contract of sale, it depends upon what conditions we have imposed and how we are treating it. It entirely depends upon the parties, buyer and seller, the way they are entering the contract. Now say Ram consults Shyam, a motor car dealer, for a car suitable for touring purposes. So Ram went to Sham and he said, I want a nice suitable car which is helpful for touring purposes. What is touring purposes? Means I want to travel a lot for selling my products. In order to promote my sales, for doing marketing activities, I need a car which can, go up hills also and plains also and in other kind of areas also. I want it for touring purposes. Traveling zyada ho jati hai, to touring purpose wali car chahiye. Sham suggests Maruti and Ram accordingly buys it. कहते हैं Maruti ले जाओ, it is very suitable for touring, and he buys it. Later on, the car turns out to be unfit for the touring purposes. अब क्या करें? Suitable ही नहीं निकली. मैंने तो condition impose करी थी. He said it was a condition for the contract. It was very important. It is so vital, means it is important that its non-fulfillment defeats the very purpose, and now he has full right to return the car and refund of the price. Sabko clear ho gaya? He requested for a car for touring purposes. Car was not suitable for the purpose. This is a breach of implied condition. You have the right to return the car and get the refund of the price money. हाँ जी, पूरा price money refund हो जाएगा. Let us assume, इधर ही रहो भी मेरे साथ ही, okay? Listen to this question. I'm not seeing the quiz. Ram buys a new Maruti car from the showroom, and car is guaranteed against any manufacturing defect under a normal usage for a period of 1 year from the date of original purchase. And he said guarantee is given to him that there will be no manufacturing defect for 1 year. And if there is any manufacturing defect, we will give you the replacement of defective part if it cannot be properly repaired. What did he say? He said if there is any manufacturing defect, कोई भी problem आई गाड़ी में, कोई इसका हिस्सा टूटा हुआ, horn खराब हो गया या gear में कुछ problem आई, if there is any manufacturing defect, we will give you the replacement or we will try to repair it. After 6 months, Ram finds that the horn of the car is not working properly. He said that this now horn is not working properly. Can he terminate the contract? The answer is he will not terminate the contract. He can either get it repaired or get it replaced with a new horn. He only had the right to claim the damages suffered by him, but not the right of repudiation. So what do we have to understand? Like in our example of washing machine, if some repair was required, you will not go and return the goods. But if you cannot wash the woolen clothes at all, you can return the goods. Similarly, if car is giving you the mileage or is giving you it is fit for touring purposes, you're satisfied, but there was certain manufacturing defects, then you can only get those manufacturing defects repaired or replaced, but you cannot return because it is a breach of implied warranty, where we can only claim the damages and we will not return the goods. So what are the differences between condition and warranty? Condition is a stipulation which is very important for forming the contract. Warranty is collateral to forming the contract. Collateral means which is related but not very, very essential. It is a secondary part. Aggrieved party can end the contract, claim the damages and the price that he has paid, can do both the things. Here he can only claim the damages. Now conversion of stipulation, section 13 is very important. Here it says a breach of condition can be treated as breach of warranty, but breach of warranty cannot be treated as breach of condition. पहले तो इसका meaning क्या हुआ भाई, क्या कह दिया? Breach of condition can be treated as breach of warranty. Breach of condition hota kya hai? What is breach of condition? Where you return the goods, where you can end the contract. So you can also treat it as breach of warranty. What does it mean? That means somebody has not given me the machine which is washing woolen clothes. So I have the right to return the goods. But you said that I am liking the washing machine's color and other things so nicely. It is helping me to wash other clothes very neatly. So I don't want to part with the goods. I will not return the goods. I will apply section 13 to it. I will say that I will want to treat the condition as my warranty. So what did I say? I said that I will not return the goods. I just want to claim the damages. But can you say that where only a manufacturing defect was problematic and there was breach of warranty, I want to treat it as breach of condition? Law says this is not possible only. Breach of warranty cannot be treated. You cannot say that I want to return the goods just because you have breached my warranty. But however, if there is any breach of condition, then it can still be treated as breach of warranty. दोनों में फर्क क्या है? ब्रीच ऑफ कंडीशन में आप डैमेजेस क्लेम करते हो, प्राइस मनी भी क्लेम करते हो एंड गुड्स रिटर्न कर देते हो. ब्रीच ऑफ वारंटी में आप सिर्फ डैमेजेस क्लेम करते हो. अब आप कैसे ट्रीट कर सकते हो कंडीशन को वारंटी, वो सेक्शन 13 आपको बताया. So let's go to section 13. It says, when can the condition be treated as warranty? So I just gave you a small example where I told you that I am so satisfied with the washing machine that I don't want to part with it. Although I'm having a anger on the person that it is not washing my woolen clothes, but otherwise it is very fit for the purpose for which I've got. So where the buyer altogether waives the performance of the condition. Waives means to give up. Waives means to give up. He has removed this condition. So I, as a buyer, I have given up my right and I have said that it's okay, I will waive the performance, means I allow you that even if it is not washing woolen clothes, then the party may, for his own benefit, waive a stipulation. It can be a voluntary waiver by the buyer. So buyer himself says that I'm liking the goods so much that I give up this condition, but please give me the damages for this because I have applied section 15. I'm treating my breach of applied condition as breach of warranty. So I will not give you the goods back, but I want to claim the damages because you have breached it, you have cheated me that it is not washing woolen clothes. So now give me the damages for that. Where the buyer elects to treat it, same thing. Either I waive off my right of condition, or I am not saying that I only want to claim the damages instead of repudiating the contract. Here he has not waived the condition but decided to treat it as warranty. So either you waive your condition, you just give up this condition. Okay, fine, I am giving up my condition. I don't want it specifically for woolen clothes, but I am treating it as a voluntary waiver by the buyer. Voluntary means by his own choice, he has waived off the condition, or he said that I want to treat the breach of condition as breach of warranty because I don't want to part off with my goods. तो ये दोनों केसेस तो हो गए voluntary waiver by the buyer. Third and fourth will be where the contract is non-severable. क्लास शुरू करते ही मैंने बताया था ना, जहां उसको डिवाइड, non-severable means which cannot be divided. Non-severable means which cannot be separated. इसको अलग नहीं करा जा सकता. Please bear with the handwriting because this is all cursor. Cannot be separated. Where the contract is non-severable, the buyer has accepted either whole of the goods or part of it. Then you cannot return the goods. So I told you I am sending you 100 bags of good quality sugar, and you have accepted, but however it was not a good quality sugar, it was a mixed inferior quality sugar. So here if the buyer has accepted those quality of sugars, then he can only claim the damages and he cannot return the goods. Now all those my dear children who were asking me, ma'am, how the damages will be calculated, here is the answer to that. Let us read the example number 3. A agrees to supply B 10 bags of first quality sugar. First quality means excellent quality of sugar. He said rate that we have fixed is rupees 625 per bag, and I will be giving you 10 bags of first quality sugar for the rate of 625 per bag. So 6,250 rupees you need to pay me, and this is the first quality sugar that I am sending. But supplies only second quality sugar, but थोड़ी दूसरी quality वाली sugar दे दी. First quality की बात हुई थी, they second quality of sugar दी, which was of rupees 600 per bag. So actually he is charging rupees 6250 from him for 10 bags, but he is giving him the sugar which was worth rupees 6,000. So here it was a breach of condition and buyer can reject the goods, but if the buyer so elects, he can also treat it as breach of warranty. But when the goods reached the buyer, he said, even the second quality is okay. I don't want to return the goods, but he accepts the second quality and he can claim the damages of rupees 250. Rupees 250 means rupees 25 per bag. 10 bags the na? So when you multiply 25 with 10, so that means 250 rupees he can claim as damages. This is how your damages are actually calculated. Don't worry, nobody is going to ask you accounting and mathematical questions in law, but these are just generic statements which is already given in the question. So simple sa thoda bahut calculations can come where you can tell in the answer that these are the amount of damages that can be claimed by the buyer. Samajh aa gaya, all those who were asking how the damages will be calculated. So here first quality sugar was to be supplied, but he has supplied second quality sugar. Number one, it is a breach of condition. You have the right to reject the goods, but it is at your own sweet will that you said that, okay, I will not reject the goods. I will only claim the damages. So here is your calculation, how you can measure and claim the damages. Or where there is fulfillment of any condition of warranty, which by reason of impossibility or otherwise can be excused by law. So you said that I want to make a contract with you, with the seller, and I said that all the products that I've asked should be supplied to me in plastic bags. So now it is said by law only that it is prohibited to use plastic bags. We are not allowed by the law. So if there is certain impossibility of the condition that you have imposed, then also it is a waiver of condition. You cannot impose such condition. Here you can only claim the damages. If the seller says that, okay, fine, I will give you the plastic bags, but actually he knows that it is excused by law, means it is not allowed by law. Therefore, if I have given you false commitment, now it is not possible for me to fulfill that. So I will give you the damages for the same. So says breach of condition can be treated as breach of warranty in two cases. Number one, it can be a voluntary waiver, where he waives off his performance of contract, himself says that I don't want to impose this condition anymore, or buyer says that I want to treat my condition as warranty and claim the damages. Second is compulsory waiver. You cannot separate the contracts. Say, for example, I gave you the example in the beginning of the class where I have supplied you good quality rice and bad quality rice. Now the rice got mixed up when I delivered it to you. So now either you accept the whole or you reject. So if part of it has been accepted, you can claim the damages, but you cannot return the goods. Okay, so if you have the products cannot be divided, it cannot be separated differently. Even when we do chapter 3rd number delivery of goods, there also we'll again talk about this topic. Or non-fulfillment of conditions which are not possible by law. So if law has only excused, law has only said that you cannot do this thing, so such conditions can be treated as warranties. Children, conditions and warranties, meaning kya hota hai, clear ho gaya sabko? Now the starting of the chapter, if I would have taught you before, it becomes difficult, but now you will understand what is the meaning of stipulation as to time. It says, unless a different intention appears, time of payment are not deemed to be the essence of contract. Whether there is any stipulation of time, it depends upon the terms of contract. Now you understood what is stipulations. You understood and remember that example of Imran Khan also, how the representations are made. We have discussed how the representation, which is important part of the contract of sale, is a condition, and the stipulation, which is not very essential part of the contract, is warranty. We also discussed the differences between condition and warranty. We also talked about how the condition can be treated as warranty. Now we are going to talk about stipulation as to time. What is the meaning of time? Why it is talking about time also? So this is again very interesting. So we'll go back to the same example where Imran Khan is showing us lehenga that we have to buy for the wedding at home. So children, when you go to a shopkeeper and you tell him that we have a wedding at home on, say for example, we have a wedding at home on 10th of November 2022. So the bride has to wear the lehenga on 10th of November 2022. The lehenga gets applied on 7th of November or maybe 6th October or maybe 9th of November. Is it okay? You will find that only 1 day is left and now you're giving me the lehenga, but still you will accept it. If he supplies you the lehenga on 11th of November 2022, does it make sense? The bride had a wedding on 10th of November. She had to wear that particular lehenga, that nice dress. This is the lehenga I have put for you. So she had to wear this lehenga on 10th of November. And now you, Mr. Shopkeeper, you gave me all those stipulations and I've made the contract with you. So there were certain conditions related to time. I told you that you have to give me the lehenga by 9th at least. At least maximum 9 November तक मैं accept कर लूंगी. 9th रात को भी अगर आपने दे दिया, at least just time before my wedding, I can wear it. But if my wedding has happened, everything is like now over, and you're coming on 11th November and you're saying, please, here is your lehenga. Don't you think, children, there has been a breach of condition related to time? Yes or no? Will you accept the lehenga on 11th of November? Yes or no? Waiver means to give up, Surya Kumar. I will read your queries later on, but first answer me this. Will you accept the lehenga on 11th November if the bride has the wedding on 10th November? What will you do? Law says here, if any delivery of goods has been made with a delay, in certain circumstances, it will be treated as a very important condition. Time depends upon the contract. It says unless terms of the contract states otherwise. So here, what were my terms of contract? Excellent. No, ma'am, we will not accept it. That is very much obvious. We will not accept. Excellent. Those who have written down. So can we call it a breach of condition? It is absolutely a breach of. We are not at all bound to accept it. Why? Because law says generally time is not very much essential. Let's take another example. Okay, fine. You will not accept it. गुनगुन शर्मा valuation में चले गए हैं. बच्चा अभी we are in Hindi. We are in conditions and warranties. Miss Arshdeep says stipulation meaning in Hindi. Stipulation meaning in Hindi means जो भी आपको एक दुकानदार बातें कह रहा है अपना सामान बेचने के लिए, उन representations, उन बातों को, ये बहुत सुंदर कपड़ा है, आप इसको खरीदिए, पहन कर देखिए, ये कभी फटता नहीं है, ये बहुत अच्छी टाइप की कॉटन है, ये बहुत अच्छा क्लॉथ है, ये सारी चीजें होती हैं stipulations, जिसके बेस पे आप अपना कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर रहे हो, फाइनल कर रहे हो. ओके, वेरी गुड. So Mr. Avinash concludes over here that time is essential element over here. Excellent. Mr. Nabeen, excellent. We agree. Yeah? Don't get angry. Yes, yes, you will not accept it after the marriage. So that's correct. Mr. Bibu Pandey says because now the work has been done, so we cannot accept. All right. Now this is interesting. I was waiting for this, Miss Subhasri. She says, what if the lehenga was very beautiful and bride decides to buy it? It's absolutely the terms and conditions between the buyer and seller. Okay, you can do that as well. But here, time was the essence of the contract. What we have to understand over here is you still have the right to reject the goods. If on 11th November this guy is coming, feel free to treat it as breach of condition, return the goods, and even the advance money that your parents have paid for that lehenga, go and check it back. Feel free to take that advance money also back because it is shopkeeper's fault. It is a breach of condition under Sale of Goods Act. You are not bound to accept where the time was the essence. So I was giving you another example. So after wedding, you went to your new house and you went with your husband for the shopping and you purchased a new television set. So television set of worth rupees 80,000, you have purchased new LED for your room. And that guy promised you that we will be delivering you the good after 5 days. After 5 days, we will deliver you the goods. But he came on 6th day. He delivered the goods after 6 days. Will you reject the goods? Now tell me the answer. I'm not going to check your answers. It takes too long. Here the answer is no, you cannot reject the goods just because of delay in delivery. It might be raining a lot, that's why he could not come. There might be some construction going on. There might be some elections or any other agenda going on. Whatever can be the reason. That's why he came on the next day. He might not be well. So he said, ma'am, I will be coming on the 6th day. Children, here time is not the stipulation. Here a simple delay in delivery, even if he delivers you after 10 days, then also you cannot reject the goods. Unless and until it was agreed that you have to give me on 5th day because on 6th day I have to sell it further. It will be a separate story. So this line has the entire meaning unless the terms of the contract state otherwise. Means if you and me have decided that time is the essence, then the goods have to be delivered on that particular time only. Otherwise, you will reject the goods. So delivery must be made without delay. Stipulation as to time of delivery are usually the essence of the contract. So generally, time is not very important, but if you have agreed between the parties that time has to be there. Let's take another very interesting example. It's your birthday tomorrow. Okay, let's assume if anyone has their birthday in real as well. So let's assume it's your birthday tomorrow. And Mr. Vijay Gaurav, that's right. Okay, Mr. Sakaldeep. Nice, excellent. So that means you're enjoying this example, huh? Priyanshu, again, if there was a pizza or food house to be delivered, I'm coming to that only. Time related to specific things or cases. So again, Miss Arshdeep, if you have decided about my, Miss Manvi Khanna says it's my birthday today. So happy birthday, Manvi. So let's take Manvi's example only. So it's Manvi's birthday today and she places an order with a nice bakery store that please deliver me my cake by 5 p.m. I'll be cutting it with my friends. So she has been studying CA Foundation Law since morning and she's so excited that I will be cutting my birthday cake today in the evening. So now the shopkeeper, he wrote down your order. He took advance 500 from you and he said, pay me balance money when I come to give you the delivery. And he forgot to deliver you the goods today. And tomorrow, 9th of August, he comes to your house, Manvi, and say, knock, knock, here is your birthday cake, ma'am. अब आप बच्चे ऐसे हो कि वो केक इतना टेम्पटिंग लगता है कि चलो बर्थडे के अगले दिन भी आ गया ना फिर भी खा लेते हैं. ये लो पकड़ो अपने पेंडिंग 500 rupees. I'm going to relish it. But if you had a party organized at home and you kept on waiting for that birthday cake and that guy did not turn up and you had to make a separate arrangements, are you bound to accept the delivery the next day for your birthday cake, which is today? The answer is absolutely no. Rahul says it's my birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to you also, Rahul. So please make sure, children, when you are bound by time, so if it's your parents' anniversary or your birthday or any such things or a wedding at home where a lehenga is to be ordered, their time will be an essential stipulation. But generally, where we make a delay in delivery. Now coming back to that pizza topic which somebody was asking. So I said, I will be delivering you the pizza, sir. Domino's wala to chalo half an hour lagata hai. I am not a Domino's guy. I'll deliver you the pizza in 1 hour's time. So I came after 2 hours and gave it to you. So I told you, Domino's guys have that authentic 30 minutes. I am not Domino's guy. I said I will give in 1 hour's time. Now I came in 2 hours time. So now here, even if delay in delivery is made, you're still bound to accept the goods, provided the goods are in proper condition. But where you have ordered burgers in bulk for the birthday party at house and he's coming next day with all those burgers, बेटा वो फिर लंगर में जाकर देने पड़ेंगे. अब बर्थडे पार्टी तो खत्म हो गई है ना, आपके तो work has been done, the purpose is fulfilled. So again, you have to see the terms and conditions of every contract also. So here, if the pizza is coming maybe after 1 hour की बजाय 2 hours पे आ गया, तो it's okay. Provided you have not had your lunch, you were waiting for that pizza. Okay, so it depends what kind of time, whether the time is essential or not, depends upon the terms of the contract. Thank you, Himanshu Gupta, for writing. It's crystal clear now. I'm so happy to know that. All right, children. So we have done n number of examples for stipulation as to time also. I hope now it's clear to all of you. And now maybe we can start 1 or 2 conditions I'll try to do today with you all. Differences between condition and warranty is also clear. Conditions to be treated as breach of warranty is also clear. Let me see if we have any MCQ for you from these topics. Okay, let's test your knowledge on the basis of this question. Meanwhile, I'll read your queries. Breach of condition gives the aggrieved party what all rights? Right to sue for damages, right to repudiate the contract, both A and B, or none of these. No, Anaya Jha, you cannot say that it is only as per our choice. We have just discussed that where time is essential. Yes, it depends upon the type of contract. It's very much true, Priyanshu. But where you have made the essential, like this example of wedding day. When wedding day has passed, वो आप अपनी choice से जो भी कर रहे हो वो अलग बात है, वो हंसी मजाक हो. Burgers अगले दिन भी आपने खा लिए, that is again for fun. But choice is yours. But law क्या कह रहे हैं? Law says where time is the essence, you are not bound to accept. Yes, you will treat it as breach of implied condition. There was condition, time was treated as implied condition over here. Okay. So if it is not written in the contract, then time will not be essential. If you are not mentioned, you just went to purchase a suit for yourself and you said, please deliver me after 2 days. And the tailor took it long and he delivered you after 15 days. So it's okay. You have not mentioned that it was only specific for the time period only for which it is required. Okay. So choice is different thing. What law says that it will be treated as breach of implied condition. Good, Ashti. Sakshi, nice. You're clear now. Okay, the answers have started coming. So the correct answer for 2 is breach of condition gives the right to the aggrieved party. Both A and B, or just A or B, or none of these? Those who have written C is the correct answer, children. Both A and B, you can sue him for the damages as well as you can put an end to the contract and also claim the damages. Both of things you can do. You can also claim the money also back. Chahe damages lo, chahe pura money wapis le lo, you can return the goods. Breach of condition gives you the right. However, breach of warranty only gives you the right of claiming damages. Okay, this 5th one also we can do. Very nice. All of you have written correct. Himanshu, Gupta, Varun. So Varun Mangla, pizza case mein time bound kyun nahi hoga? Again, depends from case to case, where you have promised that this thing has to happen within 1 hour. I told you that you were waiting and the goods just came in a delay of 15 minutes, 20 minutes or half an hour. It's okay. You are not bound to return the goods. But provided you have told him that I'm not going to accept the goods, if you come after 1 hour, feel free to return. It depends upon the terms of the contract. So time is not essential. If you have agreed, then it is essential. Simple. Vikanta, right. Tejashri, Abhinav, correct. Pritindya, correct. Gungun Sharma, repudiation means putting an end. Contract ko khatam. Hello, sir, what happened? Where were we? Is it clear now? Hello. So, children, I hope you can hear me now. There was a little network error in between. So, Yashwant, I was answering your question that all these are real life examples. So, if washing machine is not washing your woolen clothes for which you have purchased, then definitely you have the right to cancel the contract. All right. Okay, the answer to this one is absolutely correct. Where were we? Warranties is stipulation essential to the main purpose of contract. The answer is false. The correct answer is false, children. Why? Because it is not essential. It is collateral to the main purpose of the contract. Very good, all those who have given the correct answer. Now just give me 2 minutes and we'll start with this condition as to title. But let me just go through your queries because many of your queries have gone up. Nabeen, I hope now it's clear. Thank you, Shrindi, for confirming it's audible. Okay, many of you send certain queries in between before starting this MCQs. If it is impossible to perform Tejashri, then impossibility of performance thing that we have studied in the morning will become applicable. I hope this time related thing is now absolutely clear. No more queries are there. Guaranteed and warranty are different, Mr. Vijay. Guarantee is a little bit different from warranty. Warranty is something which we are going to cover. Guarantee is not part of your sale of goods. Okay. So children, if your any of the queries have been missed in between, you can write them again to me. Yes, Sakaldeep, if time was the condition, then you can send the burgers back. It will not be acceptable. Mr. Rome Prince, where it is written a stipulation may be condition, though called a warranty means, so it's like section 13, there are certain cases where the breach of implied condition can be treated as breach of warranty. Similarly, there can be a contract wherein you and me have decided that this is a specific thing that we want, say for example, that car mileage thing, but we only decided that if it will not be as per the choice, then you can claim the damages. So although it's a condition, but we have given it the name of warranty in the part of contract. Lakshita, waiver means to give up. So when you waive the conditions, I said, okay, fine. I told you that I want the washing machine which washes woolen clothes. Now I've give up that condition. I've removed that condition from my contract. So waive off means removing it. Okay. Saima Khatun, we'll be doing warranty also in detail when we go to implied warranties. But as of now, just understand the meaning of warranty is where some certain things that has been mentioned in the contract which do not form the basic purpose, basic essential for making a contract between us. Say, for example, you have purchased the car, it is giving the mileage for which you have requested, but there was certain manufacturing defect. The horn was not working properly. So now you will not go and return the products. You can simply say that there is a breach of implied warranty. Either repair my products or you can claim the damage. Clear ho gaya? Himanshu Gupta, voluntary waiver means to give up. Voluntarily means by your own choice. Waiver means giving up. दो चीजें हैं voluntary में. Number one, I removed that thing that now I don't want any such condition. Whatever Whirlpool washing machine you have given me, I'm happy with that, but I will claim the damages. Second is, it is one and the same thing. Either you just remove that condition or you say the two things they are saying. Number one, they are waiving it off. Second, he's saying, I don't want to part with the goods. I'm so satisfied with this washing machine that I just don't want to give it back to the seller, but I will claim the damages because my purpose has not been fulfilled. So even that example, you can treat it as, where you say, breach of warranty, you treat not for breach of condition. Miss Devi H. Sima, she says, if both of them agree that the bike will be returned with no reasonable price will be given to the seller. Child, how can then separate agreement if you're making, that is again a different story. But in that specific case that we discussed was where Q refused to fixation the price. So I told you there are two cases where you have taken the delivery of the goods. If the first bike that they're specifically talking, they have already delivered you the goods. So now you're not bound to return the goods or discuss about the price. You have to pay a reasonable price because sale is complete now. In sale, buyer becomes the owner. So now you have to accept the goods which have been sold to you. But in the second case, where the contract was still pending, where the bike was still lying with the seller, now if you have come to know that the third party is refusing, the contract becomes void. Rohan Kumar, how the seller is charging the rates and all, that is different from the breach of conditions and warranties. We are not talking about what price the sale is happening, okay? Ishita, you need to check it from the admin for that. I am not responsible for whether you have received the study material or not. You have to check at the institute, just call them and get it checked. Reasonable price, those who are asking, reasonable means that if I have not fixed the price, then law says that if there was certain uncertainty, no mode has been decided, then whatever market rate is prevailing on that date, you have to pay on that amount. Okay. Mr. Vijay Gaurav, it's clear? Reasonable price now. Bhargavi, about the exam pattern and descriptive questions, I'll explain you each and everything, how to write the answers for that. Thank you so much, Anaya Jha. I'm glad you're enjoying the session and law is easy for you. Now, quickly, let us do one condition as to title, children. We still have 5 minutes. So, children, what is the meaning of express and implied conditions, first of all? See, children, one is word express, one is the word implied. So where I have expressly told you that I want to buy a washing machine for woolen clothes, that is express condition. Where I told you I want to buy the car which is fit for touring purposes, expressly bol diya. Where I came to your shop, I said I want a black ball pen. So I've told you I want a black ball pen. There is an express condition that you should give me a black ball pen. If I went home, I found it is a blue ball pen, I'm sorry, please take your words back. I'm not going to accept. यही होता है. Express means by words spoken or written, by expressing it, by speaking it out, by telling it. What is the meaning of implied? Implied means which is something which is clear from your actions. Something which is clear from your actions, right? Do you know the meaning of express and implied? You must have done it in types of contracts. Express contract, where you're expressly speaking about the things. Implied means which is clear from your actions. Now, what happened in case of implied conditions means you don't have to speak it out. It is from your actions only, it is clearly identified. Say, for example, you came to my shop and you said, ma'am, I want to buy a gray color pen which writes blue. So I gave you exactly the specification, gray color pen, and it writes blue. When you went home, the pen which you opened, there was no nib. You cannot write it. Now, but a pen is used for writing, it is clear. Do you think the buyer has to tell the shopkeeper, I want a pen which should be suitable for writing? Law says this is implied condition. ये तो होना ही चाहिए ना, ये बताना थोड़ी ना पड़ेगा. Express थोड़ी ना करना पड़ेगा कि pen writing के लिए चाहिए. पेन दे दिया उसने, बहुत अच्छा ग्रे कलर का दिया और बोला ब्लू लिखता है, पर जब घर आकर देखा तो निब ही नहीं थी. There was no nib, there was no point over here to write. So if the pen is not fit for writing only, so law says there is a breach of implied condition. You cannot say, the seller cannot say that the buyer did not told me that the pen should be for writing. It is a common sense. Pen has to be used for writing only. So this is the difference between express and implied. There are certain conditions which we expressly try to tell you, and all these 6 to 7 conditions which are given in your study material, condition as to title, condition as to description, condition as to sample, all these are implied conditions. जैसे कि condition as to sample, you went to a shopkeeper. Let's go to a few birthdays are coming up. So let's go to a shopkeeper and you said, before finalizing the cake, can I just test few of your samples if you have? So it was a very nice bakery shop. They have kept few samples also. So Manvi and Rahul, whose birthdays are coming up, they just tasted a little bit cake and decided that, okay, fine, the sample is good. Now we'll place the order. But just imagine when you got the order, the taste was not at all exactly corresponding to the sample. Don't you feel that you have the right to reject the goods? Was there any express condition? It was implied, no, that if the sample is displayed, the goods should be corresponding to that sample. Let's take another example. You went to a grocery store and they have kept those almonds and walnuts. आपने देखा होगा, मम्मी के साथ अगर shopping करने जाते हो dry fruit shop पे, तो they have kept open walnuts and cashews and almonds for tasting and so that you can buy. So you tasted 1 or 2 walnuts and the shopkeeper also showed you few walnuts and he was pressing them and showing that they have good quality oil in them and very nice superior quality almonds and walnuts we have. So on the basis of those sample, you placed an order for huge boxes of almonds and walnuts. But when you came home, you saw all the walnuts and almonds were, they were not good in taste. They were tasting bitter. They were not tasting good at all, or they were not mercantile. There were ants roaming in those almonds. Don't you think you have the right to return the goods? Definitely you have the right to return the goods because it is a breach of implied conditions. So these are the kind of things which we'll be doing in detail. Condition as to title, we'll be starting from the next class. So now after this, we'll be meeting on Wednesday, children. So on Wednesday, we'll try to complete all the implied conditions and we'll also do the implied warranties. Today, we have discussed in detail what is condition, what is the warranty. It is your homework to revise their definitions. Learn and revise section 13, how the condition can be treated as warranty. We'll try to take up one of the descriptive questions on the basis of that. And also stipulation as to time have been taught to you in detail. A stipulation may be a condition. I just explained this, Som friends. I hope you have heard it, that any stipulation which is a condition, I can also call it a warranty depending upon the terms which the seller and buyer have agreed. Okay. Express means by saying words. Yes, Ekta, that's absolutely correct. Either by words. Yes, Himanshu Gupta, he says also in sweet shop, you are given a chance to taste them. And if the goods don't correspond, what would you do? If you have tasted a little bit, what do you call that? What sweets you want to take? So any slice of burfi, if you have tasted and you have ordered big boxes, and if it do not correspond to the sample, you can reject. Thank you, Ms. Bhargavi. Even I enjoyed taking a class with all of you. Definitely, Sachin Agarwal, you can complete it. Thank you, Radhika. Thank you, Manjunathan. Thank you, Vagdevi. Will definitely revise now. Good. Thank you, Navni. Thank you, Nayak Khanna. Thank you, Asta. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, P. Vishnu. I'm glad to read that. Thank you so much. You made my day. All right, children, I hope you have understood well, and I feel so happy when you don't have queries and you're just sending me thank you notes. Thank you so much. Gunjan Devi, remind me in the next class, we'll open the study material and try to take up this MCQ. Thanks a lot, Sachin. Okay, thank you, Himanshu. Okay, children, so I cannot see any queries. Yes, Ritika, you can do this. That's absolutely correct. Thank you, Lakshita. Arshdeep, it depends upon the sale of contract which you are entering. So contract application of provisions of Contract Act, I told you on the first day only, they will apply to sale of goods as well. Thank you, Rohan, Isha, Ishita, Himanshu, Anchal. Anchal, I hope you have been able to see Unit 1 notes, and after Unit 2 is completed, you will be seeing Unit 2 notes as well. All right, children, have a nice day. Revise what we have done in the class and look forward to see you all in the next class. Goodbye till then.